It's funny when you think about it. How do we learn right from wrong? It's usually not from some big dramatic lecture, right? No, the real foundation often starts with these tiny little moments that you'd think don't matter at all. So let's dive into that idea and see just how one small choice can kick off a whole chain reaction. And that's the truth, isn't it? The most important moments, the ones that really shape us, are often the quietest. They're the ones we might just glance over and forget. But that's where the seeds of character are planted. That's where the rules are written and habits are formed for life. Okay, so picture this. You're out for a walk with your kid, and you both see it, just a plastic bottle lying there on the sidewalk. What's your first instinct? More importantly, what's your child's? This really simple scene, well, it's a bigger deal than you might think. And that right there brings us to the heart of this story. It all starts with this one tiny moment, which turns out to be a huge missed opportunity. So, your child spots the bottle, and instead of picking it up or just walking past, they give it a little kick. It's not like they're trying to be destructive, it's just a playful, thoughtless kid thing to do. And then they just keep on walking. And here it is. This is the moment that changes everything. You see it happen, and you've got a choice. Do you say something? Do you explain why we don't do that? Or do you just let it go? In this story, you choose silence. Maybe you're tired, maybe you're distracted, or maybe you just think, it's not a big deal. But that silence, it sends a message, loud and clear. See, that one moment of saying nothing doesn't just disappear. It actually becomes the first brick in a wall. It starts a pattern, and it shows exactly how these little overlooked moments start to stack up. Let's just break down how this gets worse, step by step. So first, with the bottle, that chance to teach is gone. Poof. Next, maybe your kid sees someone else toss a candy wrapper out of a bus window. You both see it, but again, nothing's said. And this is where the behavior gets normalized. It goes from being wrong to just a thing that happens. So what's the next logical step? Well, the child does it themselves. They've learned from your silence that apparently this is okay. And this whole pattern, it's leading somewhere. It's building up to a moment of actual conflict, a point where the consequences of all that earlier silence are suddenly going to become crystal clear. So now, it's your child holding the trash, they finish their snack, and just toss the empty chip bag right onto the street. Why wouldn't they? They're just copying the behavior that's been silently approved this whole time. But for some reason, today feels different. This time, you decide to step in. You tell your child, hey, pick that up. You've decided this is where you're going to draw the line. But the thing is, that line's already been completely blurred. And boom, there it is, defiance. Your child isn't just saying no. They're actually using the example you helped set against you. Your own inaction has handed them the perfect excuse. Everybody does it, so why are you picking on me now? So why did that happen? Where was the real mistake? It wasn't really the kid throwing the bag, was it? It was the parent not saying anything way back at the beginning. So let's unpack the real cost of waiting to teach the right thing. So here's the absolute bottom line. The root cause of the bad behavior wasn't that the kid was trying to be bad. It was the delay. The opportunity to set the standard right from the get-go was completely missed. And this slide just lays it out perfectly. You've got two paths, right? Give immediate guidance, and you set a clear standard. You build good habits, and your instructions are just accepted. But if you have a delayed reaction, well, that creates confusion, it normalizes the wrong habits, and it pretty much guarantees that when you finally do say something, you're going to get questioned. It's a brilliant way to see the cost of waiting. Okay, so we've seen the problem pretty clearly, but what's the fix? The source material here calls it the path to real education. Let's take a look at what that actually means. Real education isn't just about grades or schoolwork. It's about getting in there and actively shaping behavior. It's the daily, conscious effort of making sure a child is building the right kind of character to really thrive in the world. So what does this look like day to day? Well, it really boils down to 4 key ideas. First, act on the very first instance. Don't wait. The second you see something, address it. You're setting a boundary. Second, when you see other people doing the wrong thing, don't just let it slide. Use it as a quiet chance to reinforce your own family's values. Third, see these small moments for what they are, teaching opportunities. That plastic bottle isn't just a piece of trash. It's a 10-second lesson in being a good citizen. And finally, when you do all this, you build consistency. And it's that consistency that earns respect and stops that future defiance before it even starts. And that really leaves us with one last thought to take with us. As you go about your day, just look around at all those little things you might normally ignore. Because the most important question you can probably ask yourself is this: what small, seemingly meaningless moment today is actually shaping a behavior for tomorrow?